In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your very own Maleficent and Piglet Tsum Tsum coasters, perfect for putting your favorite drink on. Let's get started. Now to make these coasters, I'll be using these laser plywood discs, and I found these at the hobby store. They come 4 to a pack. So I'll just take one of these out, and the first thing I'll be doing for my Maleficent coaster is I'll be painting the front of it white. You can paint the front white, and then the back of it you'll paint all black. So I have my white acrylic paint here. And what I'll do is just use this and paint all over it until it's completely white. Now I've finished painting the front of it white, and once this is completely dry, I'll turn it over, and then I'll use my black paint and I'll paint the back of it black. Now if you also want to make a Piglet coaster, paint the back and front of another one of the discs with acrylic pink paint. Now both sides have dried. I've painted this one black and the front white, and what I'll do is I'll use this picture of Maleficent as a guide because I want to draw the shape of her hair before I actually color it in. It just makes it much easier to color. So what I'll do is I'll just draw right over my white paint until I have the shape of her hair. I'll show you what this looks like once I'm finished. So this is what it looks like so far, and I have this 3D paint here, and what I'll be doing is using this to outline it. Now if you have a really steady hand, you can just go ahead and paint it with black paint, but I'm going to just do a little outline and go right on top of the line that I already did. I finished tracing just the outline of it, so now what I'll do is I'll take my black paint, I'll take some right here from the cap, and just fill it in. The reason I use 3D paint is that it will help me not to get the black paint on the white paint. I'll just paint all inside here, just all inside the top of my line. I finished painting in all her hair. Now what I'll do, since she has a line right down the middle, is just use my pencil, and you can use, of course, a toothpick also, and just drag it right down the middle until you have that part that she has in the middle of her hair. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Like this. I added a nose for Maleficent with some 3D white paint, and then I also drew in her eyes and eyebrows just with a pencil, and I used this template just to help me figure out where the eyes go. I also did the same thing for Piglet. I just drew in his eyebrows and his eyes because I'll be making his nose and his ears out of foam. So now what I'll do is I'll just use this black Sharpie just to go over her eyebrows with. You can also use paint for this. And I'll just trace right over where I've already drawn the line. Like this. And then I'll do the same thing for her eyelashes, and I'll paint her eyes green. I finished coloring in her eyebrows and her eyelashes, and so now what I'll do are her eyes. I find it easy if I squeeze some green paint on top of a piece of paper here, and this is just 3D paint, but I want to make sure I don't make a mistake. Unfortunately, I don't have a little paintbrush, so I'll just be using a toothpick, and I'll just be coloring in the center of her eyes, being really careful once I get near the edge. I finished painting Maleficent's eyes, so I'll just set her aside to dry, and then I'll get started on Piglet. Now for Piglet, I use this little circle to make the eyes with. So what I'll do is place that circle right back on top, and then I'll use this brown marker and I'll just trace around the eye. Once I'm finished doing that, I'll fill it in with this brown 3D paint. So first I'll just go around the eye. I'll show you. Like this. And then what I'll do is I'll place this on top again and just fill it in with some brown 3D paint. And just go all around the circle. And I'll show you what that's like when I'm finished. Carefully lift it up. And there I'm finished with one eye. So now I'll do the other eye, and I'll do both little eyebrows. Now that I've finished with both Maleficent's and Piglet's faces, what I'll do is I'll set them aside to dry, and I'll get started on their ears and horns. So I'll be using these foam sheets for that. And here I have my black one, so I'll start with Maleficent's horns. The reason I made this template the same size of my coaster is because I want the horns to be the correct size. So I'll lay her right here on top of my black. I have a white drawing pencil, and I'll just trace all the way around her horn. And what I want to do at the end is actually make it longer than it actually is, so that I have an extra part that can glue behind the coaster. So I'll just trace all the way around this. and I'll do it for each horn. So here I've traced her first horn. What I'll do is I'll extend it a little bit. I'll make mine even longer so that way I have space to glue behind the coaster. Now for Maleficent's feet, I have this piece of white foam. I'll place her right on top of it, and I'll just trace around her feet, each of her feet. You can do them next to each other, it doesn't matter because you'll be cutting them out. So here I traced both feet. Now what I'll do is the same thing I did before. Make them a little bit longer so that you'll have extra foam to glue behind, like this. Now I'll cut these out, but I need to do Piglet's ears, make Piglet's ears and Piglet's feet. I'll do the same thing with Piglet. Trace around Piglet's ears, all the way around both ears, and then just extend it a little bit so that you'll have enough to glue behind, just the same as before. I've drawn both Piglet's ears, so now I'll do the nose. For the nose, what I'll do is I'll just place the nose right on top of my foam, and I'll just trace right on top of it. And what that will do is it will make a mark in my foam, so I'll have the perfectly shaped nose that I can attach to Piglet. And then I'll be making Piglet's feet out of a light pink foam. So see here, I have the shape of Piglet's nose, right up here. And now I'll just trace around with my pencil so I can see it even better. And then I'll cut it out. Now for Piglet's feet, I'll be using this light pink foam. And I'll just do the same exact thing that I did with Maleficent. Go right around the feet, draw right around them, both of the feet. Place them close to each other so that we don't waste too much foam. Like this, and then just extend them both. Like this. Now I've cut out all of the pieces that I need. For Maleficent, what I did was I added 3 white lines to each of her horns because she has 3 lines on each of them here. And for that I used my 3D white paint. Now I'll let these dry, and what I have to do with my coasters before I attach the rest of the parts is I have to seal them. And this is a polyurethane spray, but I'll be using this outside because you have to be in a well-ventilated area. So I'll show you how to do that, and once that's completely dry front and back, then I'll start attaching the other pieces and our coasters will be finished. Now I'll be spraying the front of these first, and I have my polyurethane spray. I have to shake it up and then just spray over the front of them. And what this will do is it will actually seal them so no moisture can enter inside. Once the fronts are finished drying, then I'll turn them over and I'll do the same thing with the back. Now that the polyurethane spray has dried, what I'll do is start attaching the horns. So I have the horns here on top of the template so I know the right place to put them. And now I'll start attaching my glue. I'll just put a little glue over here on this side and a little glue over here on this side. And then just place my coaster right on top, like this. And then hold it down for a second. And just like that, Maleficent has her horns. Now I've marked where I want Maleficent's feet to go, 2 little pencil marks. Now I'll just squeeze a little bit of glue here, and then attach my foot. There we go. Just press it down and just let a little tip of the foot show like this. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I've marked where I want Piglet's ears to go, and so I'll just glue them in place. Put some glue here, and then just press down on the ear. Storm, what is it? Now that I've attached the first ear, I'll start attaching the second ear. So I'll just add a little glue right here where I have it marked out, and then I'll press down my ear. Just like this. And now Piglet has his ears. Next I'll attach his 2 feet and his nose, and then my Piglet will be finished. And now my Maleficent and Piglet Tsum Tsum coasters are ready. They're perfect for putting your favorite drink on. If you'd also like to find out how to make this easy Pooh Tsum Tsum placemat, be sure to check out my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and post in the comments. And please share this video.